Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you're enjoying reading the chapters as well as watching the slides. This is going to be a relatively short one. We're mostly going to be focusing on the cult of romance in general and Showboat as a significant musical in particular. You'll also want to make sure that you go to the class playlist on Spotify and listen to a fair number of the selections from Showboat. Um, so this will be relatively short. It's literally 3 slides. You're gonna survive. And we're already on slide 2. How about that? So light opera we've talked about, comic opera we've talked about. Operetta tends to be a comic opera where romance is specifically foregrounded. So you're going out, you're gonna get a happy ending out of your opera, but instead of it being a funny happy ending, it's gonna be, a loving couple ending up together. Um, Two relatively famous ones were Naughty Marietta, and you can watch a film of Naughty Marietta with the very famous, well, then famous, obviously this is like 100 years ago, Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy. They were really fantastic early 20th century operetta specialists and singers, and they played against one another in a lot of these early operettas. And Ah, Sweet Mystery of Life, very famous one from that. And then there's Rose-Marie with the problematically named Indian Love Call, but it was a huge hit at the time. So knowing that that happened and existed, I mean, that's a part of cultural history. I do want to think about minority characters being parts of musicals at this time because it's present and then sometimes it's absent and then sometimes there's exploitation. And so this might not be something that has easy answers, but it's definitely a thing to track across the course of our class. And speaking of that, we have Showboat, where there is a light-skinned black heroine named Julie, who is the sort of star of the show on the Showboat at the very beginning. And her situation is treated very seriously. And she's been hiding her blackness, and then is that, outed, and, you know, shunned, basically. So it's a landmark in seriousness of topic. Absolutely. It's about race and racism at a time when people were just appropriating. Musical originality, Jerome Kern is one of the great Broadway composers. Depth of characterization, the characters seem more like people, especially, characters like Julie. There was an original source that it was based on as well. The songs were from all over. It's a multi-generational musical. Like you kind of learn what happens to the younger characters, in subsequent scenes and in Act Two, which is original, definitely. Multiracial, including the fact that this particular song, Can't Help Lovin' That Man, which goes based on kind of a blues style, ends up being one of the things that clues us in that Julie isn't completely white. One of the first things that happens is that one of the black women on the boat says, I didn't think anyone white knew that song. And well, guess what? Love on a Boat again. Okay, so we've got Pinafore, we've got Showboat. Manages many characters over time, just in terms of complexity and cohesion and songs that intersect with plot. It's really original, and innovative. It is a lot, especially depending on the production. It uses slurs. So if you are able to handle some of it, that's great. Just kind of, know your own limits in that respect. Um, it also talks about domestic violence. It talks about all kinds of serious topics. People were kind of like, wait a minute, this wasn't a happy thing. A musical could be a serious play. Um, doesn't present easy solutions to racism. Exposes injustice, but doesn't necessarily solve problems. But I think that's how we write about these issues now. We hope that we can make things better, but I don't think we have um, illusions about utopia. Definitely listen to, well, Old Man River, you might already know. That's pretty famous. And Can't Help Loving That Man you can just hear it and it sounds like a catchy hit song as soon as you hear it. So that's Showboat. Make sure you come back to the Google Doc and having a little chat together. I'm excited to see what you think of it. The show link that we have from Broadway HD is the San Francisco Opera doing it. And you'll notice the quality of singing is very, very high, and the production standards are very, very expensive. And it's also because it's fairly recent, it tries to handle race better than a lot of other productions from the past would have. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Take care.